next problem I want to discuss is all about minimizing travel time. Now, I don't know about you, but I love minimizing travel time. I have taken many overseas flights and had a very long layover in Beijing, and I don't want to do that again. So, let's minimize our travel time using calculus. So, let's say that an island, this guy, is 2 miles north of its closest point along a straight line shoreline. A visitor is staying at this cabin over here. That sounds nice. And he's planning on going from the cabin to the island. Now, let's say that the water speed, let's say the visitor runs at a mile of 8 miles per hour, very fast, I think, and swims at a rate of 3 miles per hour. How far should the visitor run before swimming in order to minimize the time it takes him to reach the island? Let's go ahead and find out. So I'm going to open up another window. Hello. So here we have our little house. It's 6 miles. We want him to run, and then we want him to swim. Here we have 2 miles, x minus 6, x. This is y miles. And here we have our island. So let's let x be the distance running and y be the distance swimming. I swear that's the word swimming, guys, I promise. Swimming, okay? T is our time from the cabin to the island. And we want to minimize T, right? We want the shortest time. I want to get to the island the fastest. T. So my distance run is going to equal my rate running times my time running. So my time is going to be distance run over R run, which is x over 8, because that's my rate. And my distance swim is going to be my rate swim times my time swim. So my time swimming is going to be my distance swim, which is y, over my rate of swimming, which is 3. So T equals x divided by 8 plus y divided by 3, right? That's going to be our total time. That's what we're trying to minimize. So now that I have found that T equals x over 8 plus x over 3, I need to use my diagram in order to solve for y. So remember, this was x minus 6, because the whole distance is 6 miles. Here I have 2 miles, and here I have y, and this is my island. So I need to solve for y. So I know that ax squared plus bx plus a squared plus b squared equals c squared, because this is a right triangle, and I think we would all agree that. So I have y squared equals x minus 6 squared plus 2 squared. So I get y equals the square root of 4 plus, 6 minus x, 6 minus x squared. I can now substitute that back into our formula for t. So I have t of x equals x over 8 plus the square root of 4 plus 6 minus x squared all over 3. Now, I know that x has to be greater than 0 and x has to be less than 6. So I'm going to rewrite this formula using exponents because I don't like working with radicals. It's just the way I am. So I have 4 plus x minus 6 squared to the 1/2 over 3. So our closed interval goes from 0 to 6. I'm going to take the derivative of t, and it's a hot mess. It's going to require us to use the quotient formula, not quotient because we're dividing by a constant. It's going to cause us to use the product rule and all those fancy things. But I eventually get 6 minus x over the cube root of 6 minus x squared plus 4. I'm going to set this equal to 0. Sorry, it's 1/8 minus that. So I get 1/8 equals 6 minus x over the cube root of 6 minus x squared plus 4. I cross multiply in order to get 6 minus x equals the cube root of 6 minus x squared plus 4. I then cube both sides. This is going to give me 64. 6 minus x squared equals 9. 6 minus x squared plus 4. So I have 64 times 6 minus x squared equals 9. 6x minus 2 plus 36. I go ahead and I can subtract 9 of this constant, right? Minus 9, 6 minus x squared. So I get 55. 6 minus x squared, which is 36. I divide both sides by 55. I have 6 minus x squared equals 36 over 55. I subtract 6. I subtract 6 because I ran out of room, so I have negative 6 plus the square root of 36 over 55 equals negative x squared. That gives me x equals 6 minus the square root of 36 over 55. And I'm going to take the, So I have the square root of 6 minus x squared equals the square root of 36 over 55. So I have 6 minus x equals this plus or minus the square root of 6 over 55. So I have negative x equals negative 6 plus or minus 6 over the square root of 55. So I have x equals 6 plus or minus 6 over the square root of 55. That was so much fun. Now, since 6 plus 6 over the square root of 55 is not in our domain, which was from 0 to 6, our critical point is going to be 6 minus the square root of 6 over 55, which equals about 5.19 miles. And so our time that we're going to be traveling is about 1.368 hours. And we run 5.19 because that's what x represented, and swim 0.81 miles.